Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is in big trouble. The High Court of Karnataka today has ordered that the governor was right in giving the sanction to prosecute the Chief Minister in the MUDA scam. Now, what this means is that the Chief Minister can be called in for questioning, an FIR can be registered against him, he can be made an accused in this case. Remember, the allegation is that the Chief Minister's wife, no less, got prime property in the heart of Mysuru in exchange for agricultural land which her brother had got many years ago and that was transferred to her name in the outskirts of the city. But the Chief Minister is having none of it. He's digging his heels in. He's saying two things. One, on the legal front, he says legally there's only one clause that the governor's case rests on, and he says legally he will challenge that in the Supreme Court. And two, politically, he has dared everybody, perhaps his detractors within the party, and maybe even sending out a signal to the High Command. He has now called out for a meeting of the Congress Legislature Party tomorrow. Now remember, Siddaramaiah has very strong support in the Legislature Party. He knows it, his detractors know it, and perhaps even the High Command knows it. So this is a move at strong arming, in the sense bulldozing his way through despite what is an inimical order today by the Karnataka High Court. So the question then is, the net is closing in on the Chief Minister. How long can Siddaramaiah hold out?
It needs to be investigated thoroughly and impartially. To conduct the investigation impartially, Siddaramaiah needs to be resigned.
It is not only victory of the Bharatiya Janata Party, it is also the victory of the people of Karnataka.
After go through the judgment, I will discuss with the legal experts and also with my cabinet colleagues and party, and also with the High Command. What action to be taken legally to be spelled out.
No question. My Chief Minister has not done anything wrong. He is not involved with any scam. It is a political conspiracy by the BJP to all of us, to all the opposition leaders in the country.
All right, before we open it up to our panelists, let me just go through the highlights of what the court has said. It's a pretty scathing order for the Chief Minister. It has said, and I quote, the governor can take independent decisions if there are exceptional circumstances which arise. The decision of the cabinet would not be free from bias of being partisan towards their leader. The allegation, as per the governor, were grave and therefore immediate action was taken. Swift action cannot be imagined to result in vitiating the entire order itself. And here's the most damaging part for the Chief Minister. Difficult to accept that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah was not behind the curtain during this transaction. How and why the rule was bent in favor of his family of the Chief Minister is what is required to be investigated. If the beneficiary were to be a stranger, the court would have thrown the complainants and shown them the exit door. Unheard of for a common man to get these kind of benefits in such quick succession. Such allotment of sites as compensation is contrary to laid down rules. It's very, very scathing in the order that it has come out against the Chief Minister. But the Chief Minister is holding out, saying that he will fight it out legally and politically. How tenable is his position? Let's open this up. Sides for Islam is National Spokesperson of the BJP, Bhavya Narasimhamurthy, Spokesperson of the Congress Party, Aman Lekhi, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court and former Additional Solicitor General, and R. Rajagopalan, Senior Journalist, now joining us as well. Bhavya, let me start with you first. I just read out excerpts from what the court has said today. It's a High Court ruling. How can the Chief Minister disregard what the High Court has said, particularly the part where it said, difficult to accept that the Chief Minister was not behind the curtain during this transaction. How and why the rule was bent in favor of the family of the Chief Minister is what is required to be investigated. How can he continue to occupy a powerful position if he himself and his position of power and influence itself is subject to having bent rules in favor of his family?
First and foremost, you need to see the timeline as to when this was allotted. This was allotted under BJP government. Do these BJP people mean to say the chief minister of BJP was less powerful than the then opposition leader? If Siddaramaiah has influence then, that either means the BJP chief minister was toothless, or now if you people are doubtful that he will influence, how? What is the role of chief minister there? Yes, the High Court has dismissed our petition. That doesn't mean, we can't go higher up. We have the complete faith in the law and order of this country. We have High Court, double bench, or even the Supreme Court. Whatever the legal experts of our government say, whatever the cabinet ministers decide, the people of Karnataka are with the chief minister. The High Command of Congress is with the chief minister. The whole cabinet stands with the chief minister. BJP, it's pure political vendetta.
Can I read out the timeline since you questioned,
No.
ma'am, the timeline of when this was allotted? August of 2004, Mr. Siddaramaiah's brother-in-law, the brother of his wife, purchases 3.16 acres. October 2010, the land is gifted to his sister Parvati, who is Siddaramaiah's wife. June 2014, the Chief Minister's wife seeks compensation for land used by MUDA. June 2014, it was not the BJP government that was in power. December 2017, MUDA decides... One second, I'm not finished. December 2017, MUDA decides to award alternative sites to Parvati. Again, not when the BJP was in power. And January 2022, Parvati gets 14 plots in Vijayanagar third phase in exchange for the agricultural land that is in the outskirts of Mysuru. Now, please tell me what in this timeline that I've mentioned is wrong.
When this was allotted, that's exactly what I was saying. When this was allotted, BJP was in power.
The approval for allotment came in December 2017. In December 2017, BJP was not in power in Karnataka.
2017, it was not allotted. 21, it was allotted.
Ma'am, December 2017, MUDA decided to award alternative sites to the Chief Minister's wife, to everyone, including the Chief Minister's wife. The actual allotment order came out in January 2022.
So, Jacob, the question is not about whether the alternate land has to be given or not. It has to be given. It's every person's right if the government has acquired, right?
Today the court has said, such allotment of sites as compensation is contrary to laid down rules in today's order.
In 21, it was allotted. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So you're saying that the court is wrong when it says awarding such compensatory plots is contrary to laid down rules. The court order today is wrong?
So that means let them investigate. The Chief Minister has clearly said he's not against the investigation. He's just against the misuse of the position of governor.
Ma'am, one question before I go to the others. How can there be an impartial, independent probe against the wife of a sitting chief minister when he continues to be the chief minister? How can there be an independent probe?
Let's take the example of Yadurappa. He was a sitting chief minister when he was investigated, when the Lokayukta, and he resigned only because Lokayukta Santosh Hegde presented a 1,600-page report saying he is guilty of it. Not when the investigation was happening. There is no question of the CM resigning because this political vendetta...
May I remind you and our viewers, after the Lokayukta report, the then governor had given sanction to prosecute Mr. B.S. Yadurappa. He stepped down when the sanction to prosecution was given.
Lokayukta has some credibility. This man, as per the same Santosh Hegde sir's words, the man who has registered a complaint is a blackmailer. Okay. You really think the governor should have trusted in a man whom the Lokayukta calls a blackmailer?
Let me ask Zafar Islam. Zafar Islam, the chief minister is digging his heels in. He says there were 3 clauses that were moved by the complainant before the governor for giving sanction to prosecute. He says that in today's order, 2 out of those 3 clauses have been rejected by the court itself. There is only 1 clause as per which the sanction to prosecute has been given. I believe it's clause 17A. And he says he's well within his right to challenge this before a division bench of the High Court or even go up all the way to the Supreme Court.
Well, Zaka, of course, he has the rights to approach Supreme Court or the other benches. But what is more important in the eyes of the public? Everyone knows that he has misused his power. He has been guilty of violating all the possible rules to allot these plots to his wife, or this wife as the beneficiary when the allotment was made, and while violating all the possible rules.
No. What
So
did he violate? What they're saying that the allotment happened when your party was in power. What did he violate
No.
exactly?
So the committee was formed, Zaka, and committee has found that many violation was done while making the allotment. So whoever was the responsible at that time should be held guilty first. Mr. Siddaramaiah must have influenced those people. He must be held guilty. And even those people, with respect to the government, at that point in time, whoever was part of the MUDA was responsible, they should also be held responsible.
So you're saying even though the BJP was in power when the allotment happened, whoever was responsible in MUDA or in the BJP government at that time should also be held accountable along with the Chief Minister?
Who is responsible? It's the MUDA.
Yes.
MUDA has made this allotment.
Yes.
And the officials who have actually violated the guidelines at that point in time or the late provision, those should be definitely should be held guilty and they should be punished as per the law. But as a Chief Minister, when everyone knows there has been violation while making this allotment, then of course he should take moral responsibility and moral high ground and put his resignation. And
But you're saying that he is well within his legal rights to continue till he's exhausted them.
No, everybody has the legal rights. This is only the High Court, Zaka, and then of course he can approach Supreme Court. He can go further.
Okay.
That legal right is the right of every citizen. But he is the Chief Minister. When he is found guilty, and when court has allowed his prosecution, then I'm sure that every sensible person, especially when you are the Chief Minister and when your wife is the subject who has been allotted, then he must resign.
I want to go across to Mr. Aman Lekhi and also to senior journalist Mr. Rajagopalan. Let's look at some of the precedents that have happened in similar cases of alleged corruption against sitting chief ministers. In 1995, in Tamil Nadu, the sanction to prosecute the Tamil Nadu chief minister at that time, Jayalalitha, for corruption allegations was given. It's a different matter. She did not step down. And then in the subsequent election that happened in 1996, the following year, her party lost badly. In 1997, the Bihar Chief Minister at that time, Lalu Prasad Yadav, there was sanction that was granted to prosecute against him in the fodder scam. He stepped down and made his wife, Rabri Devi, the Chief Minister. In 2016, the governor at that time in Maharashtra had given the sanction to the CBI to prosecute Ashok Chavan in the Adarsh housing scam. Ashok Chavan stepped down as Chief Minister. In 2011, and I come back to this example which I had quoted to Bhavya, after the Lokayukta found prima facie material to sanction the then Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa, he stepped down for alleged graft. So if there are these examples of chief ministers, sitting chief ministers, who have stepped down when sanction to prosecute was given, why should it be, Aman Lekhi, any different for Siddaramaiah?
Well, Zaka, an ethics-based paradigm is non-existent in our country, and generally, and this applies across the political spectrum, politics does trump propriety. What is very important to note here is, one, this is not a case of sanctional prosecution. We are talking about 17A. 17A is a stage much anterior, wherein there is to be inquiry or investigation. So that is at the threshold. So the only issue here is whether there is cause. If there is a prima facie case which requires investigation, then subject to the conditions 17A, you proceed with investigation. The instances you're talking about the prosecution, either after Lokayukta report, etc., which are the bar to cognizance. So that follows an investigation. This is at the very commencement. So if there is cause, then there has to be investigation. And because it is at the threshold, insofar as the cause for interference is concerned, where corruption seems to be quite patent, to stifle investigation would not be correct. But that is only one part of this, because I said as far as impropriety is concerned, the impropriety is across the spectrum. What I want to also point out is the impropriety of the Chief Minister continuing, because this is in some way going to handicap the investigation in any case and affect the very independence of the investigating agency. What is equally important is, and this is something which is missed because it's a polarized debate, there are a few issues I want to flag, even where the governor is concerned, because there is, insofar as the aspect is concerned, it gets lost in this kind of tutu meme which happens in the political interaction. What I have noticed since what the governor has done is he has referred to 218 of the court, which deals with prosecution. That is prosecution which follows investigation. So that means it's not present to the governor's mind. That is what is the stage that he is actually looking. It's not a case 17A according to him. It's a case of 17A and 218. It's not a stage of 218 at all. This is number one. Number two, there are 3 complaints, and it is obligatory for the governor to deal with all 3 complaints, which he has not done, and so far as the 3 particular complaints are concerned. And number 3, that's most important, while the governor is not bound, and this is where Siddaramaiah is wrong, the governor is not bound by the Council of Ministers. You can't say he has to follow, but the governor has to have reasons not to follow. So I don't know the details of this particular case. It is from the public domain that there is apparently a 90-page reply. So what is very pertinent is, has the governor applied his mind to that 90-page reply insofar as deciding to prosecute is concerned? So so far as the entities here are concerned, neither entity is in fact quoting itself in glory. Insofar as the one which is in fact seeking to give the permission is not all in the clear and is vulnerable to criticism that he is acting as an agent. And the one against whom proceedings are to be instituted is also equally dubious because he is holding on to the chair, notwithstanding the fact that the case is in fact fairly.
You know, on the application of mine by the governor, this is what the order today says, and I quote, "The gubernatorial order nowhere suffers from want of application of mine. It is not a case of not even a semblance of application of mine by the governor, but abundance of application of mine." That is on that part. I also want to ask you, since you said about the impropriety of continuance of a person in a position of power, my understanding is, and anybody on the panel is free to correct me, the ongoing probe which the Chief Minister ordered into this, the allotment of commercial sites in lieu of agricultural land given to his wife, the probe ordered by the Chief Minister is by a retired High Court judge, and I understand that probe, once completed in 3 or 6 months, will submit its report to the Chief Minister himself. Do you think, Aman Lekhi, this will be a free, fair and impartial probe?
No, it will not be. And in fact, this particular device, which political establishment generally adopt, of having comfortable people to head committees to give favorable reports, is something which has become endemic and has to be condemned roundly. There is an investigating process and there's a law. And if there's cause for investigation, the policing agency has to do. And any interference in that particular investigation is unwarranted and has to in every case be avoided.
Okay, so let me go to Mr. Rajgopalan. Let's leave the legalities aside because ultimately this will be decided by a matter of politics. I don't think this will be decided by a matter of legalities. And the politics and the bottom line of the politics is simple, Mr. Rajgopalan. The Chief Minister, you heard his press conference, he's digging his heels in. He says, I'm not going anywhere. The entire party is rallying around me, the CLP, the cabinet colleagues, even the High Command. He's called for a CLP meeting tomorrow. And the last time there was a CLP meeting to elect him as Chief Minister, he had the support of 115 plus out of 135 MLAs. And he believes that support is very much intact.
Mr. Siddaramaiah, on political grounds, Jaka, he is on a stronger ground. But the High Court judgment has come in an inappropriate time because Haryana elections, it is going to definitely create a crisis because Haryana politics, Bhupender Hooda politics and Siddaramaiah politics are same based on real estate. So my point is, Jaka, 3 Gandhis are confused, Mallikarjun Kharge is confused and he is siding with Shivakumar. And that is why this Karnataka politics is going to take a longer time and thereby Mr. Siddaramaiah will get a longer breath of time. And with that, he will try to create an atmosphere. If state government is not allowed to continue, he might create an atmosphere because he has already been talked to, the Bangalore South, where they are going to change the Ramnagara and give the entire thing to Priyank Kharge's husband. That is the allegation the BJP is also putting up. So therefore, it is a real estate things. Even Mallikarjun Kharge got into the real estate, Siddharth Nagar Trust. So therefore, Karnataka Congress is in the web of real estate, amassing the land grabbing. Therefore, it's high time Mr. Siddaramaiah resigns, pay way for Shivakumar or other leaders. It is going to be a big crisis for 3 Gandhis. Because one Gandhi is supporting Shiv Kumar, another Gandhi supports Siddaramaiah, third Gandhi is supporting Mallikarjun Kharge. Therefore, it's a crisis in Congress, I would like to say.
So, Bhavya Narasimhamurthy, I want to come back to the question that I asked Aman Lekhi as well. How can there be a free, fair and impartial probe when the person to probe and the committee to probe has been appointed by the Chief Minister himself? And the subject of the probe is whether the Chief Minister misused his office and his power.
I'm really surprised a senior advocate of Supreme Court, a former ASG, actually doubts the ethics of a retired justice. The person who has been appointed is a retired justice. And to
but the retired judge has been appointed by who? Appointed by Siddaramaiah himself
so you
or
mean
his
to
government.
Say you question his ethical grounds?
No. Isn't it obvious? Isn't it an obvious conflict of interest that when the Chief Minister is the subject of the investigation, he has ordered an investigation to a person appointed by him and a committee appointed by him?
And
So
to investigate
now-
his own case.
No. Let her respond. Yeah, Bhavya.
We honestly believe in the law and order of this country, whether it is appointed by the Chief Minister or not. We believe that is an independent committee and they're going to submit, they're going to do a very independent investigation and submit their report.
Okay.
And now, if the governor had followed the right rules without coming under the influence of central government, just like they're doing in other states like Tamil Nadu, Jharkhand, Kerala, everywhere, wherever BJP is in opposition, then we wouldn't have any problem in the investigation. Now we all know the governor is misusing his position. That is the problem we are having with this.
Okay, Aman Lekhi, you want to respond to the point? She says that you are questioning the credentials of a retired judge. At the end of the day, his credentials must be above board for him to have been a judge in the first place.
Exactly.
I feel judges who accept these kinds of appointments compromise themselves and in some way compromise the legal process. No judge should ever be part of such an exercise, first of all, because they become tools in politics. This is number one. Number two, when there's an investigating method which is there and the law which sets out the steps which has to be followed for a particular investigation, to substitute it by an ad hoc mechanism is something which is totally unwarranted. And number three, the fact that you substitute it by something which is unwarranted shows that you got something to hide. Because if your fidelity to what the law says is clear, then your submission to law should also be absolute. And the fact that you evade the legal process through a mechanism which is of convenience quite clearly shows that everything is not right in what you say.
Okay, Zafar Islam, today the Chief Minister also quoted the example of Mr. Kumaraswamy, former Chief Minister and now Minister in Mr. Modi's government, saying the exact same thing allegation happened against him as well. He did not step down.
See, Zaka, no matter what he does to protect himself, no matter whoever he names, he has no legs to stand. He has been responsible for all this corruption. His wife is responsible for getting this allotment through unfair practices. I think as a Chief Minister, it is his moral responsibility to resign. And if he doesn't resign, we will mount pressure on him, and there'll be enough within the Congress party who will pull him down.
I spoke to Mr. Priyank Kharge. I'll play out some of that excerpts of that interview in just a moment. But he says the wife of the Chief Minister, by the way, he was not the Chief Minister when the allotment happened. The wife of the Chief Minister is not the only beneficiary who's got this. Commercial plots in the heart of the city in lieu of agricultural land in the outskirts of the city. He says there are 50 other such cases the very same MUDA has given, and not all of them are politically connected. So how do you respond to that?
See, Dhaka, if something unfairly has been done, it needs to be probed. And if the Chief Minister in question and his wife is in question, then of course it is first the responsibility of the Chief Minister to resign. As I said earlier, whether he wants to resign or he doesn't want to resign, we will put pressure on him, we will mount pressure on him, and there will be enough people within the Congress party who will pull him down as well. He will have
enough people within the Congress party who will pull him down.
Yes, you know that there is a lot of
Okay, Bhavya, respond to that, and I'll wrap up after that. Yeah.
Speak about horse trading.
Because he knows that there is a corrupt
No,
man.
but he's not talking about horse trading. He's talking about people within your party.
No, I'm saying that there is a corrupt man. People, his own legislature will not support it.
Yeah, no, so let her respond. He is saying, Bhavya, that there are enough people. I know who he's referring to. I don't want to name anyone. But I think our viewers are intelligent enough to figure out who he's talking about. But is it true that there are enough people within your party who want to pull Mr. Siddaramaiah down?
No. The problem here is BJP has not, this is not the first time they're doing this backdoor politics. In most of the state, if they're in power today, it's only because of backdoor politics. And this kind of political vendetta, either horse trading, buying MLA, whatever,
I'm saying that you formed the government, but he will not be the chief
misusing
minister.
CBI, misusing IT, misusing all
Why
of
are you
these
digressing?
institutions.
Why are you digressing? I'm saying
Yes,
somebody
they
else
do
will be the chief minister
what
from
they are
your party, but he
known
will not
for.
be able to continue.
Known for that.
So
And
Bhavya, he is
and
saying
development-
it's not like the BJP is going to come to power. He's saying somebody else from your party will head a Congress government, but Siddaramaiah will not continue to be chief minister.
Siddaramaiah will not resign no matter what. The investigation, if it happens according to the rules, if the governor's position is not being misused, Siddaramaiah sir has very clearly said he's open for the investigation.
Okay,
Our-
let's see how
opposition
open
only
this
to
investigation is. I'm out of time. Thank you very much to all our panelists for joining us. But let's see how open, how free, how independent this probe is. Because earlier today I spoke with Karnataka IT and BT Minister, also the son of the AICC President, Mr. Priyank Kharge, who's a minister in Siddaramaiah's cabinet, and he has said that the ruling today by the Karnataka High Court, according to him, is not a jolt to the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. He says that the governor's action has been politically motivated. He says there were 3 clauses by which the complainant had moved the governor, and the governor had relied on those 3 clauses for giving sanction to prosecute. But according to him, in today's court order, they have quashed 2 out of those 3 clauses, leaving just 1 clause on the basis of which the High Court has held up the governor's move to give the sanction to prosecute. He also said that the judiciary will eventually exonerate the chief minister. And the bottom line, and I've been saying this again and again, the political bottom line as of today is this, that the chief minister still continues to command the loyalty of a majority of his MLAs. Priyank Kharge is now joining us. Thank you very much, Mr. Kharge, for speaking with us. This is what the High Court found today, that the complainant was justified in seeking the approval of the governor. The governor can take an independent decision in exceptional cases, and the case against the chief minister is an exceptional one, and that no fault can be found in the action of the governor. Why should the chief minister not step down?
Well, it's very clearly quoted even in his judgment that about Section 17A and also about Sections 218 of the BNSS Act. The Honorable Judge has limited his decision only to Section 17A in the Governor's order. The complainant had requested investigation and prosecution under Sections 218 of the BNSS Act, 17A and 19 of the Prevention of Corruption Act. So the Governor initially rejected the request for prosecution under Section 19 of the PCA. And the court has clearly rejected the prosecution sanction given by the governor under 218 of BNSS Act. So the only thing that is left is about the investigation allowed under Section 17A, which will also be cancelled in due process of law. So where is there a necessity for anybody to resign?
But Mr. Kharge, this is what the court has said today, that the gubernatorial order nowhere suffers from want of application of mind. It's not a case of even a semblance of non-application of mind by the governor, but by abundance of application of mind. The PCA does not require only a police officer to seek approval to investigate a public official. It's the duty of the complainant to seek such approval, even if they are a private citizen. So basically, the court is saying that there was nothing wrong in the action of the governor, and that a chief minister today now has to face prosecution. He could be facing an FIR against him.
I'm sorry,
he could be called for questioning.
Yeah, so see, nobody is questioning the 17A part of it, right? Very clearly, the complainant had sought permission for prosecution under Section 218. That has been rejected. They have told that there is nothing that the governor was wrong with the 218. He's asked for investigation. We are open for investigation, and we have already set up a team for investigation.
But should the chief minister not step down pending investigation? The
Why
BJP
should?
is also citing what
Why
happened
should?
in 2013 when Mr. Yediyurappa was chief minister, saying that he stepped down. Similarly, when the High Court had said that the governor was right, giving sanction to prosecute.
I'm sorry, I think your history is a bit rusty over here, Zaka, because the investigative agencies had sought his prosecution after investigation. Where is the investigation completed? Where is any investigative agency have sought his prosecution here? The investigation has just started.
No, but Mr.
And,
Kharge, how can there be a free and fair investigation if the Chief Minister continues to occupy his chair? Which investigation will come up with a clear conclusion if the Chief Minister is seen as occupying a position of power?
So you're actually saying that Lokayukta is not a constitutional body and they're not independent?
No, but in the Yediyurappa case, when the Lokayukta prima facie found material against Yediyurappa, he stepped down.
He was forced to step down by then. So where is the evidence now? Where is the proceeds of the crime? Where is the evidence now? There is nothing, absolutely nothing that any investigation has found, nor does the governor have anything, nor does the complainant have anything.
So you are saying that the Chief Minister will step down only and if only the Lokayukta finds material cause against him of corruption for him to step down?
See, firstly, there has been no quid pro quo. There has been no corruption. There has been nothing. There is nothing that has transpired. All this is just hearsay evidence that has been popping up. The governor's office is being misused. The governor is acting like the state station house officer, where everything is just being forwarded to the government. And it's very clear what is happening here in Karnataka. It's just a repeat of what's happened in Jharkhand, what's happened in Delhi, what's happening in Tamil Nadu, Kerala. And it's the same thing that's happening here. It's a playbook. It's a standard operating procedure of the central government to destabilize governments in states where they are not in power.
But one final word, Mr. Kharge. Are you saying that the Chief Minister's wife did not get 14 plots in plush Vijayanagar, third phase in Mysuru, in exchange for agricultural land that was first given to her brother and then the brother gifted it to her?
The Honorable CM has sat and for a 2-hour press meet and has in detail explained on the entire process of MUDA. And it is just not the Chief Minister's wife who has been allotted sites. She's not taken it herself, or there has been a quid pro quo, or there has been a misuse of power here. There have been all the people who were in that ambit, who were supposed to get those sites, have got those sites. It's only that this is being singled out.
But agricultural land somewhere in the outskirts of Mysore to prime plush property right in the heart of the city,
so that
it's
is
not
what
the
MUDA
same.
has given. That's what MUDA has done, right? It's not done only for the CM, it's done for all the land losers there. And the Chief Minister's wife happens to be one of them. MUDA has already agreed that they have not acquired it legally.
All right, Mr. Priyank Kharge, thank you very much. Appreciate you joining us and putting up a stout defense of the Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah.